I want to break in yet again. We have actually two tornado warnings that we want to get to right now. These are going to be situated down around the Corbin and Williamsburg area. You can see there's flashing boxes down around the Cookeville, Tennessee area as well. So we're just going to kind of keep this thing going for a little bit. Let's zoom in and kind of give you an idea on what is going on. If this will let me, I may have to move over to the computer. The first severe, it's kind of overlapping. We've got severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings that are in effect right now. Of course, you can see this is going to be for the Whitley County area. We also have that tornado warning that's for McCreary County, and they're overlapping here. It just kind of moves on over into Knox County and a chunk of Laurel County as well. Again, we were talking about at least the possibility that there could be some hail with this, as well as the very heavy rain. But I'm going to have to walk over to the other computer, and I'll kind of walk you through what's going on as far as shear is concerned, and we'll take a look to see if there's any sort of rotation that is going on. But we're going to keep you here at least for the next 15 or so minutes. I think a lot of these tornado warnings will be expiring around 7:45 p.m. So bear with me just a second. I'm going to switch over to our interactive mode and try to bring you the latest on what is going on. So we've got, let's click over to analysis. We've been watching as a lot of these storms just kind of have a lot of oomph with them. We have, let's do max track radar. Again, we're looking at, this is kind of starting to get out of the range of max track. So these are probably looking maybe a little bit worse than they are, but I'm going to try to see if there's any sort of couplets going on or any kind of rotation that we see. I'm also going to be looking over here to see if there was any sort of reports that come in. So again, we have two tornado warnings that are in effect right now. These are in southeastern Kentucky. This is going to be right over the Corbin area. So if you are in Corbin, you need to be in your safe space right now. Barberville, you're going to be next. Barberville, you are actually included in the tornado warning, and this is for Knox County. This is also a chunk of southern Laurel County. And then you've got Whitley County and just a little piece of McCreary County. And there's two tornado warnings. These are the flashing red boxes that you see. You also have the severe thunderstorm warning polygons that are just kind of around the tornado warnings as well. So you've got warnings on top of warnings. So let's switch it over to, let's try to get some storm relative velocity here. If there's any sort of rotation, it looks to be very broad, but we're looking at, going to kind of keep an eye on this area right here, right near Youngs Creek, just to the west of Youngs Creek. Again, this is in Whitley County. If you are in Youngs Creek, you may be experiencing some very high winds right now, and you definitely need to be in your safe space. And remember, that's going to be in the lowest level of your house, basement if you have it, and put as many doors and walls between you and the outside as you can. Stay away from glass, stay away from windows indoors. The two tornado warnings that are in effect right now, that's what we're hyper focusing on. But of course, we have the other severe thunderstorm warnings that are kind of wrapping around this. Let's look up here. Again, not seeing any tight rotation, definitely some broad rotation. Again, these are going to go on for about another 14 minutes until 7:45 p.m. So two tornado warnings. We've been watching this. We had a lot of that severe weather that moved through early this morning, and it looks like it's still just trying to get some other things ramped up here. So that's why we're going to keep you on. We've got also a severe thunderstorm watch. That's the shaded yellow boxes that you see, and that does include a lot of our southeastern Kentucky counties, from the Wayne County area through McCreary and on over toward Letcher County. So again, two tornado warnings, so that's what we're focusing on right now. Looking like maybe just a bit of rotation is a possibility. You've got the green color that's going toward the radar, and that's going to be up where we are, Lexington, and then you've got the red that's going away. If I can draw on here, I'll show you that. You got the green that's going this way, and then the red that's kind of coming around and moving away from radar. So that's going to be where the most intense of the wind likely is right now. And I'm still trying to see if there's any kind of, if we have any sort of reports, storm reports. I don't see anything just yet, but we're going to keep you on here until these expire. Again, if you're just now joining us, we have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. We have a severe thunderstorm watch that is in effect, and we have 2 tornado warnings that are on the table right now. And again, this is for southeastern Kentucky. These are until 7:45 p.m. 2 tornado warnings. All right, let's go back to reflectivity again. We've been talking about some extremely heavy rain with this system, and that's, of course, what we are seeing. Also have more tornado warnings down to the south. So if you remember, we had the slight risk that was for Middle Tennessee, and so it looks like there's still just been a lot of energy in southern Kentucky. We've had temperatures in the 60s, so that's what a lot of these storms are feeding on. Let's look at this. The intensity of some of this rain is very high intensity. So rain falling very hard. Corbin, of course, you're right in the middle of both of the 2 tornado warnings plus the severe thunderstorm warning that's just kind of encasing that as well. Barberville as well. Let's zoom in and kind of take a look at some of these towns. You've got Grove, you've got Youngs Creek, you've got Faber, Walden, Rockholds, Goldbug. You are included in that as well. Right now it does exclude Williamsburg, but Williamsburg, you're likely seeing some heavy rain at the time. We've got more of that heavy rain that's extending on over north of the Barberville area. So moving on over, you see Gray, Arkell, Hedrick, Barberville included in that, Girdler, Crane Nest, Woolham, Gibbs, Fletcher, and then moving on over toward the Hammond area. Let's see.
No response from Bill. Do you want me to call Bane?
Yes, please. Okay, so no reports just yet. At least that is good. We have had some reports earlier of hail being involved, so let's go ahead and take a look at swath or the shear rather, and hail swaths to see if there's any hail. This is radar indicated, so this is not a confirmed case of hail or anything going on, but there is, you see these shades of purple. It is possible that there could be some hail within these storms. Again, most of this is sitting down right around where the severe thunderstorm watch is, and then also where the severe thunderstorm warnings are and the tornado warnings as well. Let's take a look at shear. Also showing a little bit of shear. So it does still look to be on the weak side, but we had some weak shear with the storms that moved through earlier this morning. So again, that rotation is still a possibility. Let's move back over to storm relative velocity. You can see, as I was just mentioning, right over Youngs Creek. Youngs Creek, if you are listening, you need to be in your safe space. Again, lowest level of your house, basement if you have a basement. Put as many walls between you and the outdoors as you possibly can. Stay away from windows, and if you go in a closet or a bathroom, have something sturdy, something heavy to protect your head, especially with your head and your body. Let's see. Something may have shifted. We still have the severe thunderstorm warning that's just kind of around the tornado warning. Again, these tornado warnings showing some broad rotation. I definitely wouldn't. I'm a little more concerned about the storm it has moved now east of Youngs Creek. It's now over the Faber area in Walden, Woodbine. You need to be in your safe space. Wilton, you do as well. Rockholds, Goldbug. If you live in central and northern Whitley County, you need to be in your safe space right now. Also, most of Knox County, especially central and northern Knox County yet again. Barberville also, or just north of Barberville, showing a little bit of broad rotation. You've got Girdler that's in this, Cannon, Hedrick, hope I'm saying that right, Barberville, Arkell, and Gray, Crane, Nest, Sproul, Gibbs, Fletcher. Again, you're kind of all within this tornado warning. Let's take it back over to reflectivity. Get another sweep that's going around. Faber, you are in the thick of it right now. You definitely need to be in the lowest level of your home. If that is a basement, then that's the best place to be. But again, we've got some extremely heavy rain. Let's see, let's turn the lightning on. We've got a lot of lightning with this. Of course, we know that we had a ton of lightning that moved through with the storms last night and then into today as well. Still nothing as far as the reports are concerned. Let's see if there's any talk of any weakening. Okay, let's see here. It looks like the tornado warning has been canceled for northeastern McCreary County. So, okay, so that has been dropped off. Still have it ongoing. Let's see if they've canceled these others and it's just not popping off. Looks like they're continuing the tornado warning, at least for part of northern Whitley County. We have a third tornado warning now. The third tornado warning is for Leslie County and Harlan County. Leslie County is in our viewing area. Harlan's just on the fringe, but we're going to cover that too, and that's going to go until 8:15 p.m. So again, we've got 3 tornado warnings on the table right now. All of these are in southeastern Kentucky. You can see that's just where the action is centered. We're seeing some really strong storms moving over this region much earlier today. So of course, that's what we're dealing with right now. Ton of lightning, very heavy rainfall, strong winds obviously up to 60 miles per hour, but definitely much stronger if there's tornadic activity on the table right now. So you got a lot in the way of, I'm going to turn the lightning off. We know there's a lot of lightning. Got Whitley County that's included in this. We have Knox County that is included in this, and Leslie and Harlan County that are included in these. And this first tornado warning should be expiring here. These 2 should be expiring within the next 5 minutes unless they continue those or still see the need to move those on over, shift those on over to the east. Thankfully, everything up to the north is just rain, so we're just kind of hyper-focused right now on these 3 tornado warnings. I'm going to switch it back over to storm relative velocity. Still a concern here with this. Okay, so the next scan just went through, and it does look like that rotation has broadened some. That's good news. That means it could possibly mean that the storm is weakening. Anytime you have a stronger couplet or a closer couplet, that just really allows the storm to spin faster. And then as that happens, then that would mean the funnel cloud would be getting closer to the ground as that happened. You got Barberville. Barberville, you need to be in your safe space right now. Cannon, Girdler, you still have some weak rotation that's between Barberville and Girdler, maybe even between Barberville and Crane Nest. So you're right in the middle of the tornado warnings. We still have the severe thunderstorm warnings that are around as well. So of course you've just got polygons and warnings that are on top of each other. Okay, let's see. Continuing. So they're still trying to cancel some of the severe thunderstorm warnings. Many of those are going to be replaced by the tornado warnings. Looks like the only tornado warning that was canceled is the one for McCreary County. So they're kind of out of it, except for the severe thunderstorm warning that's still going on for another 20 minutes or so until 8 p.m. So again, some broad rotation. I'm not seeing anything as far as a really tight couplet or a really tight rotation. Again, that bodes well. If you start to see the greens and the reds kind of moving farther apart from each other, then there's not going to be that tight couplet. It's going to be more of an outward one, which again is better news as far as tornadoes are concerned. But you still have the red over here that is moving. Let's get my pin back, moving away from radar toward the Barberville area, and then the green that is moving toward Lexington, where our radar is right now. So that's where you're going to have that couplet right over Cannon. So again, if you are in Cannon, if you're in Barberville, if you're in DeWitt, Scalf, Artemis, you need to be in your safe space right now. Again, this is in Knox County. You also have the tornado warning, obviously, for northern Whitley County. It's taking up about half of the counties. So again, this is a big area, and of course we know that we've got a lot, at least the potential for extremely heavy rain. Hail is a possibility as well. Let's go back and look at the hail swath. You've got some of those hail swaths that are showing up north of the Corbin area, right around where we were just looking at the rotation around Faber, as well as Girdler, Crane Nest, the possibility of seeing some hail there, especially in between Girdler and Crane Nest. Again, this is all a part of the larger system that's been moving through the area. Let's look at a lapse of the last little bit here, last hour or so. You can kind of watch as this develops. Again, it just kind of hits that warm air that we've really been watching for this evening, as temperatures pushed into the low 70s today for southeastern Kentucky. Again, some extremely heavy rain that has been falling. Let's go back to seeing some other people who are questioning confirmation of any kind of tornadoes near Whitley County, near Corbin. Again, we have three tornado warnings that are on the map right now. And it's interesting to me as well, because typically when you have storms that move through over an area, it's going to work over that atmosphere, which means it's going to take away a lot of its fuel. So I am kind of surprised. Okay, so we've dropped down to just one tornado warning now. As of 7:45 right now, we have the one tornado warning that is still in effect for Leslie County. That's going to go for about another 30 minutes or so. And again, the reflectivity is not as impressive there, because now we're starting to move away from radar. Let's switch it over to Jackson radar. Jackson's going to be a little bit closer. Reflectivity. Okay, so yeah, this is showing a little bit more. This is good. Okay. So Chapel, Lewis Creek. We've got maybe just a little tail that's trying to come down and move closer to the Helton area. You've got a lot of heavy rain falling there. Let's switch it over and look at storm relative velocity. Okay, so not impressive with the storm relative velocity. Again, that's good. Looking like maybe a broad rotation there. See about the hail. Still the possibility of some hail, and still not seeing any sort of storm reports. At least the good news is that since they just dropped the last two, let's see, let's go back to Jackson's radar. Since they just dropped those back down to severe thunderstorm warning, you are still in the thick of it right now. Knox County, a lot of that action has kind of fizzled for northern Whitley County. But Barberville right now, you still need to be in your safe space. You're still under a severe thunderstorm warning. So again, severe thunderstorm warning is not as intense as a tornado warning, but still you do need to heed all of the severe thunderstorm warnings as well. We've got some black color here that's showing up right around Girdler. Again, that's still at least maybe a broad rotation, and as I mentioned, the broader the rotation, the less likely that you are to have a funnel cloud forming and then dropping to the ground. So that is good. That's what we want to see. But nonetheless, you still have some extremely intense heavy rain. Let's turn back on the lightning. We've got a lot of lightning with these cells as well. So that's where you can kind of see where the worst of it is. Just had another radar sweep come through. Everything just kind of continues to shift. This is our barren marker that may suggest that there is some rotation. So that kind of popped up just now. That again, that's over Girdler, which is interesting because they dropped the tornado warning from that. So as of right now, we still have a tornado warning in effect on the table for Leslie County. It does cover just a sliver there of far southeastern Clay County, and then also over toward Harlan County. We also still have several severe thunderstorm warnings right now. You've got one in Perry County. That's near Hazard. You've got this one that's kind of covering the tornado warning in Leslie County and also extends down to Harlan. You also have the severe thunderstorm warnings for Knox County, southern Clay County, as well as Whitley County and Bell County. Again, so a lot of these are trying to move out of our viewing area and into our fringe counties, but we're still going to stay on, especially with the tornado warning. Okay, so let's kind of look here. You've got this little piece that sticks down. You really don't want to see that in a tornado warning. Let's look back at storm relative velocity. And now we're kind of getting away from max track live Doppler. We've switched it over to the Jackson County or Jackson, Kentucky, Jackson National Weather Service radar. So we're still seeing again some rotation. Red is going to be away from radar. The green is going to be toward it, and that's going to be right over Lewis Creek, just south of Chapel, kind of north of the Helton area. Okay, so they have reissued another tornado warning. I just mentioned this marker that came up, which shows at least the potential for some rotation. So the National Weather Service in Jackson has kind of reissued this extra. Okay, just thank you, Larry. Just reissued this next tornado warning. Bell County, again, we've got a Knox County that's included in this. Bell County is included in this, and just a sliver of Harlan County, also Leslie County. So it's basically, it's a new tornado warning. It's just shifted over to the east. Let's see, I'm gonna turn this marker off since we know what that is. Okay. As we are looking at the Jackson radar, and I'm going to switch it over here just. Let's see, let's do max track, storm relative. Okay, so it still shows it too, but I'm going to go back to Jackson because I'm going to show you this. Okay, so there does look to be some pretty stout rotation that is right now over the Bowman area and DeWitt. So if you are kind of southeast of Girdler, east of Cannon, Girdler and Cannon, I think you're okay. Barberville, I think you're okay. But let's kind of zoom in here. There's some rotation here. Hinkle, Bimble, Bowman, DeWitt, Walker. And again, it's kind of on the western side of this tornado warning. So they have kind of allowed for this to shift and move on over to the east. So we have some rotation for sure that is going on here. Let's see. Let's look at the shear rate. Okay, so there's quite a bit of, there's some growing shear here as well. Again, this is the tornado warning that we are covering in just northeast of Barberville. So this is going to be for eastern Knox County. You've got northern Bell County that's included in this as well. So we're still following the 2 tornado warnings. Let's turn off the lightning. Let's try to clean some of this up a little bit. Let's get rid of the storms because we know where the storms are. Let's go back to, let's go to our max track. Extremely heavy rainfall, obviously we're seeing that. Again, if you are just now joining us, 2 tornado warnings. Still not seeing anything as far as storm reports are concerned, but we know that we still have the possibility of not only the rotation, but also the extremely heavy rain, hail, winds in excess of 60 miles per hour, and then also we know that we have a lot of lightning. You also have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings that are just kind of encompassing and kind of all surrounding the tornado warnings as well. Bill Meck, you just let me know when.
All right. Well, I need a little thing to talk to.
Bill needs a mic.
All right. All righty. Well, this is part 2. Gonna go ahead and get you set here. And actually, Emily, you are more in the know since I just got back from emceeing a concert.
Right, right.
So you go ahead and
pulled you away from that. Okay, so our 2 tornado warnings. We've been watching the storm that's been centered over just northeast of Barberville right now in Knox County. This tornado warning is going to go until 8:15. They expired it, and then they saw that there was maybe some rotation that was building back in over the Girdler area. So you've got cities and towns like Hinkle and Bowman and DeWitt, Hammond, that are kind of right in the thick of this. Just moved over. We've had some, Bill, we've had some I saw some pretty good amount of rotation with this particular storm that is now moving into eastern Knox County. The northern part of Bell County will be next, and then we have another tornado warning that's in far southern Leslie County. So they're still feeding off of that warmth that we had where they had the 70s there today. And I was trying to explain them that even though this area was worked over quite a bit earlier, these storms are still trying to find a way.
And they will continue to find a way. So with all that, again, you're looking at the tornado warnings that are out there, and we're going to go ahead and kind of take you through all this. So we are looking down in southeast Kentucky. This is probably on an old outflow boundary from the storms that went through earlier today. So again, we are looking down there toward Knox County, toward Barberville, where we do have a tornado warning in progress. So again, southeast Kentucky is where all this action. We had the big storms come through parts of central Kentucky over the last few hours. Those were not severe storms, but this one not only is severe, but it is potentially tornadic. So you've got Knox County until 8:15. That also will extend into part of Leslie County, where we also have a separate tornado warning in Leslie County, each one until 8:15. So that gets you set as to what we are looking at out here. Again, the storms themselves are coming down out of Corbin. They are now to the east of Barberville, the east of Girdler, Scaff. You're seeing these working on on their way toward the east. We are going to go ahead and bring up the radar site out of Jackson, because that's going to be the closest radar site. And that gives us the best idea of what's going on at the lowest levels here. So when we look at storm relative velocity, again, you're getting the rotation, you're getting that signature, one of the things that we look for here. And this is very close to Scaff at this point. So again, for you folks there near Walker, near Field, this storm is coming your way. You see the reds and the greens coincident right next to each other here. That tells you indeed that this storm has rotation. There's also rotation in the storm sitting back here to the west of Artemis. So we are indeed looking at what is an active and volatile cell. So you've got the hail core. You see it up there around Hammond where that pink is showing up. So that's the circulation responsible for it.
We have some reports of heavy hail in Knox County. He doesn't say where in Knox County, but it's probably right where you're
probably the storm up there by Hammond and Scaff. We can actually go ahead and pop the hail on here. We're watching the swath coming down north of Girdler. So again, you're looking at the likelihood of some large hail in and around Scaff, and again moving into that tornado warning. Again, we're going to watch that storm that's also just there to the west of Barberville. So again, you're looking at rotation there. When we're talking about that, you're talking about toward and away from the radar site. So again, for you folks in DeWitt, in Scaff, you need to be in shelter. But the storm back here by Artemis, so that's going toward Jackson, that's going away from Jackson. And so what you're looking at with it, there is your rotation right there, counterclockwise. So again, that's at least a possibility. And they just put a severe thunderstorm warning up for that cell. I'm going to bet that that also has what's the nomenclature called tornado possible with it. So again, from Artemis back to the west, you are looking at, again, another potential tornado. Severe thunderstorm warning until 8:15 for that cell. Tornado warning for Knox County until 8:15 for the cell that's up here by DeWitt. So this, again, is headed toward E-Rose and Field. You folks in Sailor, Tackytown, be aware that you are within that warning. Beverly, E-Rose, again, also within the realm of that particular warning. So again, there's the look on the storm relative. Even on the base velocity, right there over Scaff. So again, you're seeing on base velocity. So this is just the raw data and looking at that, and some of the wind speeds are going to be probably pretty intense off of this, and we're going to get to the other tornado warning here in just a sec. So we've got 47 one way, and I'm going to bet it's probably about 30 or 40 going the other, so about probably 70 miles per hour worth of shear showing up with that. And speaking of shear, we can go ahead and put the shear rate on here and look at that cell. So again, you're showing kind of that S shape is one of the things that you look for. So again, Scaff and Field, you guys need to be in shelter now. When we're talking about the shelter, one of the things we call it sea duck here. So with that, what you do is you close all the interior doors, bathroom doors, bedroom doors, closet doors, compartmentalize your house. Downstairs, lowest level you can. If your house has a basement, you get there. If not, just get to the lowest level you can. You want to get under something big, heavy, and sturdy, something that can protect you from flying debris. A heavy table, a couch, a bed. A staircase is a very sturdy structure, especially if it's in the middle of the house. You want to use the walls of the house as layers of protection, and then keep away from windows and doors. That's the best way we can advise you to stay safe with all of this. So again, there is your overall setup, and we bring the radar back on here for you. Again, we're going to use the Jackson radar site. So again, Scaff, Field, E-Rose, Rella, Beverly, Sailor, you guys need to be in shelter now. Emily, what's the forward speed on these?
That is a good question. Let me see here.
Let's take it home.
Oh.
Right.
I'm losing chat.
Okay, while you're doing that, we've got the big picture here for you again. So again, Central Kentucky, nothing to worry about. You're north of the Hal Rogers, nothing to worry about. Southeast Kentucky, south of Hazard, that is where we are indeed looking at these potentially tornadic storms. And again, there's a pretty good rotation showing up on these. So again, go into southeast Kentucky here. You're getting into the southern part of Leslie County. So this is the second tornado warning. That's Leslie County, also until 8:15. So again, we've got another 15 minutes to go on this. But this is going to be south of Hyden. So again, we are almost getting there into, it can be Harlan County. So that is where we're looking at these storms as they head on to the south. In fact, Harlan County until 8:15 also for that particular tornado warning. This one's going toward Big Laurel and Divide. This cell, as we look at it,
Bill, they're moving about 35 miles per hour.
Okay, so they're also a much slower forward speed than the storms that we had last night and this morning, which are moving close to 60 miles an hour. This one is not showing, at least on the storm relative, as much of a rotation signature as the one to its west. And again, same idea. There's not much showing up here around Big Laurel, Big Fork. But still, with that tornado warning in place, you guys need to be in shelter. We're going to concentrate back on the storm that's now approaching field. And again, this has a much stronger rotation signature. And in fact, we've got one of our rotating icons there, and they're pulling that warning right along with it. So again, from Scalf to field to E-Rose, you guys need to be in shelter. We will go ahead and plot this out for you. So we'll take it where that point of circulation is, and we're going 35 miles an hour. That was close. Let's bring this over here. So again, you're seeing some of the time of arrival. Field 808, Beverly 815, Sailor 821, Tackytown 821. We're getting out of the warning box at that point. So that is what we are looking at with this cell. And again, you can see everything updating here. Strong rotation couplet is still shown with this storm that is near Scalf and headed toward field. Rella, you're going to be awfully close to this as well. And again, we're looking at wind speeds. You're at 49 there on one side. That's going toward the radar site, going away from the radar site. So this will give you how much shear is going on. And not picking up much on that. So it's mostly going one direction, but you're still looking at about 60 knots of shear, or 60 miles per hour of shear ongoing with that. I want to bring the shear rate on here one more time. So again, you're seeing how that's moving toward field. There may be a little bit of we're picking up another couple pixels here, looking right down through the cone. But that's going to be at the southern flank of the warning, so just north of Rella. Just past DeWitt at this point. Again, we're in a lot of very hilly country. So again, you folks there need to be aware that this is a storm that can indeed produce a tornado, that Knox County tornado warning, until 8:15. So again, as we talk about with the kids too, with Weather 101, you don't panic in these situations, but you get yourself to that safe spot. When we were showing you the places to get to in a house, that's for a solidly built structure. That does not include, unfortunately, a mobile home or a manufactured house. They are not designed to take the winds of even a weak tornado. So again, you need to be evacuating those kind of structures and find place in a permanent building if that's at all possible for you. So again, from Field to Beverly, you've got that tornado warning until 8:15. That does extend into part of Leslie County until 8:15 as well. Quick check on the radar display again so you got that little inflow notch going right in here, right there by field. You see where that lower, the greens are showing up there. That tells you that that's a weaker return coming in here. To the north of Scalf there, that's the hail core. So that's where we're likely going to pick up some large hail from this system, and then back toward Artemis as well. Speaking of that storm back by Artemis, just see what it's up to. Very broad circulation with it. You notice the difference between the two. So again, you've got darker colors showing up there by Artemis. They're a little more spread out. So again, it's a weaker circulation showing up with that storm at the moment. Whereas when you see the storm here in the southern part or east central part of Knox County by Rella, south of Scalf and Field, how the bright colors are showing up there, and they're showing up right next to each other. So again, that tells you that that is likely, there is certainly rotation going on. Whether or not it's on the ground, that part we do not know. So again, there is that cell, and again, we're looking, this is now increased. You're seeing the red showing up there. That's shear that indicates strong between Field and Rella. So again, you are the folks that need to be in shelter. If you're in Cannon, Girdler, storms are past you. It may still be raining, you may still have lightning, but the storms have indeed passed you.
And the tornado warning for Leslie County has been expired or canceled.
So that storm that we were looking at where we couldn't find anything, the folks at the Weather Service office in Jackson have indeed expired that warning. So that's taken about 10 minutes before it was natural expiration time. Still have a severe thunderstorm warning there, but the storm in question is now getting ready to cross, looks like, into Bell County. So we may be right there at the Bell County line. Is that Bell or Leslie? That is Bell. So Bell is not in our viewing area. And so we're getting up there toward Pine Mountain as well. So that storm getting ready to cross in at this point. 8:15 for that tornado warning. Again, when you look at the storm relative, still has a good tight circulation there between Rella and Field. The radar signature on it. So you've got your inflow notch where the air is being basically sucked into the storm is right there. And you get the rear flank downdraft coming in like that. So that would be the overall setup. To the north there by Eros, that's where you're getting the big hail out of this storm at this point. And when you look at the hail, so again, watch this just track of hail from Girdler to Hammond to Scout, headed toward Eros. So that's just a path that hail has indeed been taking. Just on raw velocity display, again, it's still showing up here pretty easily definable. So again, that again is a strong circulation indicated by radar. It's not a guarantee. It's not saying that it's on the ground there in the southern part of Knox County as it gets ready to move into Bell County. So I think Field is right about there at the boundary between Bell and Knox County. Elsewhere, you do have these severe thunderstorm warnings. Knox County there around Artemis. That again till 8:15. You are looking at that cell headed to the southeast. You're also looking at severe thunderstorm warnings as you get into parts of Perry County into Letcher County. So there's Perry until 8:30, southern Leslie until 8:15, Letcher County. So again, you're getting out of our viewing area at 8:30 for that particular severe thunderstorm warning. Southern Leslie, southwestern corner of Leslie until 8:15 with a tornado warning. You also have it for Knox until 8:15. And again, by 8:15, that storm will be moving into Bell County. When those storms move into Bell and Harlan County is when we will be leaving you. Because again, we're not on the cable systems down there, the satellite, we're not on there. There may be some folks streaming us, and we certainly appreciate that. But again, that's getting out of our viewing area when you're getting into those counties that border on Virginia. So we'll go ahead and reset it here one more time for you. You're looking at a line of strong thunders, and that's also, I'm surprised that actually doesn't have a warning on it. At least a severe thunderstorm between Williamsburg and Jellicoe. We're seeing that bow echoing taking place right there. But again, for kind of the reset here, there's Barberville, so you're in Knox County. We're on the edge of Knox County, getting ready to go into Bell County. So just to put that warning back up here for you so you get the verbiage. 8:15. So again, it's got about another 5 minutes to go for that warning itself. And again, if it's extended eastward, it's into Harlan and Bell County. Where is the storm now? If it's likely producing a tornado, again, it's basically on the Bell County line with Knox County. Let's just do a box zoom, make life easier. All right, so here we go. Storms are again coming up on Pine Mountain, so you also have a formidable geographic structure that these storms are coming in on. So that's where, looks like most of the circulation is now getting into Bell County. When we put the storm relative back on there, again, we're getting basically into the extreme eastern part of Knox. There's still some circulation there right around Field. In fact, still a pretty good circulation, but again, you're also approaching Pine Mountain. It's past Girdler now, so again, you folks can stand down. Again, broad circulation now approaching Pineville in Bell County. Beverly, Gardner, again, you're looking at that passing just to your south, but you're going to get big hail out of this. So again, that tornado warning until 8:15. There again is your boundary between Bell and Knox County. The hail core there right coming close to Beverly, Eros. This hail is not as impressive. I mean, there may still be some big hail. We had some bigger hail cores with the storms last night. Coming in there on Sailor. So again, that's Bell County, 8:15. Eastern Knox until 8:15. And clipping the southern part of Leslie until 8:15. Anything new from the folks in Jackson?
No. Just expiring a couple of the severe thunderstorm warnings, but nothing with the tornado warning. Okay.
Well, they're going to let that probably take its natural expiration at 8:15. Again, don't be surprised if that gets extended into Bell and Harlan counties. 8:15 there for Leslie. Knox, again, the storm looks like has crossed from Knox County into Bell County. What we're going to do, it's got 4 minutes left on the warning, so we will hang with this for the final 4 minutes. If it gets extended in, we'll let you know, and then we'll take you back to NBC's programming at that point. But again, the tornado warning for Leslie until 8:15, technically Knox County until 8:15, and certainly Bell County until 8:15. Coming in now toward Tackytown. The storm itself, if it's got a circulation, is going to be pretty close to field. The circulation may be broadening here just a little bit. You still have some pixels, green and red, that are coincident together, but it's getting a little more broad than it was 5 minutes ago, where they were next to each other, right on top of each other, and they were strong signatures. You'll notice that the stronger winds are now pulling well away from that point of convergence. So again, the storm still has rotation to it, may or may not be tornadic, but it looks like these winds are picking up as it's again getting right about on Pine Mountain. So it's still picking up 34. Last night on one of these scans, when we were talking one of the storms that was in Boyle County, we had a 118 mile per hour wind at 3,000 feet up. So again, that was with the storm early in the night last night, well, in the overnight, around 12:45. That was a storm that produced some large hail. So again, we're coming up 8:12. The storm now pulling away from Knox County. So again, Scalf, Eros, storm has passed you. If you're watching in field, the storm looks like it has passed you as well. Stay in your shelter for another couple of minutes. Rella, you're close. So again, wait another 5 minutes for that storm to get by you. But again, anywhere from basically the Bell County line with Knox County to the west, that severe weather threat has indeed ended from these cells. So you again continue to see the tornado warning there. Again, moving into Bell County. Just to, again, reorient you one more time here before we leave you. Severe thunderstorms ongoing in southeast Kentucky. Central Kentucky, anywhere north of 64, it may still be raining, but the severe threat is well over. You get down towards Somerset and McKee, again, there is no severe threat at this point. You're north of the Hal Rogers, there is no severe weather threat. I-75 from Williamsburg to the Jellicoe area still have at least a risk from a damaging wind gust at this point with that little bow echo that we were showing you. Coming up 8:13. So as we come in on that storm for you, again, it's solidly now into Bell County. In fact, it looks like it's trying to push into Harlan County at this point. When we're looking at the shear, still decent, but not as much as it was 5 minutes ago. So the storm is beginning to, I think, wind itself down, but it's in Bell County at this point. When we look at the velocity displays, that again confirms it for you. Solidly into Bell County. In fact, it's getting close to the Harlan County line, where that warning does extend into part of Harlan County near Lehman. Make sure we get that. So yeah, there's Harlan until 8:15. So again, the circulation now is passed by Field. It's passed by Rella. It's moving in toward Cardinal and Lehman. And again, you're well into Bell and Harlan counties at this point. Severe.
I'm going to allow the tornado warning to expire at 8:15.
So with all that, we'll put the radar back. In fact, we'll put the Max Trek on here for you as we wind this up. Again, thanks to Emily and Bain for being in here while I had some duties to take care of. But again, here's the big picture for you. So you got the storms that are in southeast Kentucky. The tornado warning will expire. Severe thunderstorm warnings for the counties that border Virginia will be continuing here. These are just garden variety showers and thunder showers that are left. So we will watch this severe weather threat wind down. We appreciate you being with us as we cover these storms here for you, and we will now send you back to NBC's programming.